Good afternoon. Hello, my name is Miss Harris, and I'm so happy to be back with you today. We are talking about nocturnal and diurnal this week. I really like this, I should say nocturnal and diurnal animals, right? So this is an exciting week because we like to look at animals that are, either in our habitat or something we want to find out more about. And we get to study the way that they live, what they eat, what they do. And this is just a really fun lesson, I think. So today we're talking about snakes. What do you think about snakes? I like saying that because I like to give you a second to think about it. Because snakes are one of those things that some people, everybody has a different reaction when they hear about snakes, right? When was the last time you saw a snake? Have you ever seen a snake? Can you tell me about it? Those are some things I would be thinking about. Like, for instance, me, when was the last time I saw a snake? Well, that's easy. You guys, I saw a snake last week in my backyard. And I live in the city. I don't even live in the country. So why would I make that distinction? Why would I say I live in the city and not the country when I'm talking about snakes? What do you think? Where do snakes live? Those are the kind of things we're going to talk about today. Snakes can live in the city because they can live in the underground. They can live in all kinds of places outside, and I hope they stay outside, right? Because some people may have them as pets, but for me, I would rather them be outside. I know that they have all kinds of good things that they do, but sometimes when I'm outside in my backyard and I see a snake, they can scare me, okay? And do you know why they can scare people? Why can snakes kind of scare people? What do you think? Yeah, because they move so different, right? Can you name another animal that moves like a snake? It's hard, right? Because they slither. So, I didn't write that word down today, but that is a word that you could look up and write down if you wanted to. They slither instead of, walking like we walk, or, dogs walk on their four legs, right? Okay. So, anyway, snakes, I have them in my backyard. That is fine, but they do sometimes scare me. So, anyway, that's my snake story, but if you notice, always do pay attention. What is something that you know about snakes? That's one of the hot questions today. Something I know about snakes is the way that they move can scare people. That's because they slither. We're going to be talking about patterns today, okay? We're going to work on a pattern. And then it says, why do you think a snake needs to use a camouflage? So that's going to lead me into, think about that. It's going to lead me into my two words for today. Pray. So let's spell this together, and then we'll talk about the meaning of the word. Pray is P-R-E-Y. Pray. Prey is something that is hunted by a predator, okay, that is eaten, an animal that is hunted, okay? So that is prey. And then predator is the one doing the hunting, and that is P-R-E-D-A-T-O-R. Good. Now remember, when we look at these words, I hope you're writing them out too at home. This is a great time to look at the words and identify letters that are the same. So in these two words, what letters do you see that are the same? Good. I hope you noticed that the first letter of both words is a P. Good. And the second letter is R. Good. What other letter do you see that's the same? E. We have an E. That's great. Okay, good. I don't think does this word have a Y in it? No Y. Good. Okay. Do that at home too, but if not, you can see it here on the screen, I hope. So, those are the words you're kind of talking about today, okay? And we're doing an activity. If you notice when you're looking at these directions, you can call McConnell Springs. McConnell Springs is located in Lexington, Kentucky. If you're not in Lexington, you may call around or look online for a place you could go visit, McConnell Springs is great because they have a little store, I'm going to say a resource area where you can go in and you can see fossils or different things like maybe snake skins, things like that that they find in McConnell Springs, which is just an outdoor nature preserve. And then you can go inside and there's a nice man in there and he'll tell you about different things, maybe some animals that live there in McConnell Springs. But I really like, for this lesson, there are snake skins there, and that's something that's really cool to go see. Snake skin, by the way, is what the snake sheds. And you might find those left, like for instance, there was one in my yard last week where the snake had shed its skin on my grass. So that meant two things. One, there's a snake that had been there, okay? And then two, I need to mow my grass because why is there still a snake skin there, okay? All right, so today we've talked a little bit about snakes. You can call McConnell Springs or look it up online. McConnell Springs, and look at pictures of snakes if you like. But the lesson today, we're actually going to, it's more about math, okay? So I have things here that you may not have at home. I have these things called linking cubes, and I think it says to have that, unifix cubes. But you could use like blocks, you could use, honestly, anything that you could find to make a pattern. So what is a pattern? What's a pattern? Okay, good. A pattern is something that is repeated, okay? So you may see patterns in different places. We're going to make a pattern and then we can talk about it some more, okay? I'm going to make a white and brown pattern, okay? So I'm going to start with a white and then I'm going to use brown, okay? If I'm just using these two colors, what color comes next? What do you think? White or brown? Good. White. And then what color comes next? This is a pattern. Good, brown. So you are repeating this pattern. I could keep on going, okay? I could link them together if I wanted to, if I'm using blocks and I wanted to link it together. I might keep going for a minute. Okay, brown is next, good. Is it, what's next? Is it brown is next? Wait. No, that's not right, is it? I didn't start this pattern. I started white, brown, white, brown, white, brown. Good. White. All right. Let's do two more. Brown. Let's do two more. White and brown. Okay. So that's a pattern. That's one example of a pattern. We can do another pattern. Let's try another one. Let's start. Oh, let's use some pink. Let's use some hot pink. Let's do pink, pink. Well, there went that one. Good thing I've got more. Okay. Pink. Pink. What color you like? I like green with pink. Okay. So I'm going to go, this is a little bit different. This pattern goes pink, pink, green. Okay. So, hopefully we have some more pink in here. Might have to dig around and find stuff. Let's get one more at least. There's a pink. Okay, good. So, pink, pink, and green. Okay, so I have two different patterns there, okay? So notice, this is a pattern, something that is repeated. So look around your house. I didn't wear a pattern on my clothes today, but if you look around your house or on your clothing today, you may be wearing a pattern. You may have a pattern on your rug or on your curtains behind you. Your carpet may have a repeating pattern, like a shape on there that's repeated. I notice you can't see this carpet, but it has a pattern on it. It's not just a solid color, okay? So look around. That's a fun activity to do and find patterns. And then you can talk about them. Patterns are snakes. Why are we talking about patterns today? Why do you think we're talking about patterns? Because it has to do with snakes. Yeah, they have different patterns on their skin. And you have pictures. I did not print those out today on my lesson plan, but you have those. So look at those, but then you're online already, so I know you can type in snakes, and you could even type in snake patterns, and it could tell you the different types of snakes and what kind of patterns they have, okay? So once you've created a pattern like this, we're going to measure it. okay? So I have a nice little measuring tape that we would find in the classroom, but at home you probably have like, your parents may have a measuring tape that they use to measure like furniture, or if they're, you know, it's going to look a little bit different than this. And it could have, this measuring tape's not quite as long as maybe a measuring tape that your parents have, but you all can use those together to measure some stuff. Because it's fun to, you know, you pull this out and then you measure something and you can count. So I love doing that. I love to see, oh, how much, you know, how long is this? Whoa, okay. So this is, let's see, we start it right here where it says 1, which is actually on this yellow part. And let me turn it around so you can read this. But this is fun because look, check it out. You can measure, it's 10 and a half. You said 10 and a half, what? Where's the half at? Well, here's 10, and in between each one of your numbers you have a half, okay? So it's 10 and a half inches long. Each one of these numbers from 1 to 2 to 3 is an inch long. What's really cool about that is it's also the same size as this area on your finger. So if you don't have measuring tape like this, you could use that and draw out on a piece of paper, make your own measuring tape, okay? So if this is 10 and a half, let's see how long this pattern, our pink and green pattern is. It's a little bit different. Oh, it's 6 inches. It's 6 inches. So which one is longer? Which one's longer? Good. Or the one that's 10 and a half inches, and this is 6 inches long. If you lay it on there, you can kind of see it's not quite half. It's a little bit more than half. If we had half, how could we figure out which one is, how we can make this half of this? What could we do? Well, this is handy because we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And half of 10 we could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be that. Okay? So there's all kinds of things that you can do with measuring, and you know, like, look, you may get this measuring tape out and you might start having some fun with it. You're going to measure your hand, whose hand is longer in the family, okay? My hand, let's see, it measures, I'm going to bring it over here so you can see. Let's see, it's 8 inches. Wow. Okay, so not quite the 10 inches, but I have 8 inches, and I could even count these. These are about 1 inch long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it's going to be 8 right there, okay? So 8 inches long. So anyway, you know, we're talking about a few things here, but I hope you had fun using math, patterns. We're using measurement patterns. We're talking about snakes. You know, if you go outside and you see a snake, if you yell like I do a little bit, that's okay. That doesn't mean we're necessarily scared of them. They just tend to make us jump because of the way that they slither, okay? I hope you learned something new, or at least you had fun with me today. All right, enjoy, and I will see you again soon.